I'm Will Brown, and welcome to the WP Quickies series, bite-sized WordPress tips and tricks in 30 minutes or less. And in this lunchtime quickies, I'm going to show you several methods on how to protect your PDF files from unauthorized downloads. And this topic was actually suggested by one of our regular WP Quickies viewers, Joey J from Singapore. So thanks for that, Joey. Thanks for taking the time to join in with me if you're from Australia. Got a nice frosty and foggy morning there. Some sun just starting to burn off some of the fog, which is good. And thank you as well to those guys who are overseas and to those watching on replay as well. Okay, so before we start, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, and ding that bell to get my latest video updates. And if you're watching on Facebook, give me a big thumbs up. It would really, really help the SEO scores and stuff. If you want to ask a question during this session, then drop a note in the comments section and use the hashtag ask. And that just makes me easier to find the question when I'm scrolling through all the comments. I'm talking about comments. Drop a line in the comments just now. Tell me who you are and where you are from. We've got some people logged in just now. So we've got Paul from lockdown in the Northern Beaches. Yep, that's right. Everyone in New South Wales, well, a lot of people across Australia are in lockdown, and just now a 2-week lockdown to try and get rid of this this Delta COVID variant. So yeah, we're all in lockdown at the moment. So nothing better to do than watch YouTube. Alan as well. Hi, Alan. Good to have you with us. And Jean as well from the Central Coast, as well as Julia. Hi, Julia. Thanks for joining in. Julia is one of the co-organisers for the Embedder Sydney, and we do have an Embedder Sydney meetup tonight. We're talking about the Google Core Web Values on that. So join us tonight. You can find us on meetup.com. Just type in Embedder Sydney, and that's later tonight at 6 p.m. Sydney time, I believe. Okay, a lot of people ask about comments and stuff. So when I'm doing one of these quickies, after I've finished the stream, I put together the link to the presentation and links to anything that I talk about during the show, and I put them in the comments down below underneath the video. So if you've watched on Facebook, or if you've watched this on YouTube and you're looking for all the links and resources, come back about 10-15 minutes after the show and have a look in the comments down below, and you'll see all these links and stuff down there. So you don't have to write them down, you don't have to remember them. They're all in there and ready for you in the comments. Hi to the Maze in sunny Chatswood. Oh, you're getting a little bit of sun. We're just starting to get a little bit of sun here in the western suburbs here. So hopefully that will burn through all that fog that was this morning. It's really, really foggy this morning. My little boy watches a lot of the cartoons and stuff, and there's which one is it? I can't quite remember. Paw Patrol, that's right. And there's a place called Foggy Bottom. So today I got told that we were living in Foggy Bottom today because it was so foggy outside. Okay, guys, I'm going to jump straight into it. So here we are. We're talking about protecting WordPress PDF files for that. Now, why do you want to protect PDF files? Well, there's lots of reasons. You might want to protect, well, not just PDF files, but any type of file that you have stored on your WordPress system. The main reason is likely to be commercial. So you may be selling PDF assets as part of your business. So maybe ebooks or checklists or music sheets, or even things like photos and other digital downloads. In other cases, you might want to protect your original work as well. So you might have intellectual property rights and such like that you really want to be able to protect and only allow authorized people to download that. And that might be people who are in a membership site, or it could be people who have paid for that download. But last but not least, there may be some private and personal documents as well that you really don't want Joe public accessing. And perhaps that information is part of a file form upload, or you've asked people to upload some private information and you don't really want people to get access to those URLs, or for those URLs to be indexed by Google. That would be a bit of a nightmare, a privacy nightmare for you. So depending on your circumstances, there are many different ways to stop unwanted users from accessing your PDF files. And when I say PDF files, that's a caveat for any type of file that you want to restrict access to. So tip number one, This is the kind of most simple one. We'll start with simple, and we'll go through some of the more complex methods later on in the presentation. But tip number one is password protecting your posts. Now, in this scenario, you're going to embed a link to your PDF file, usually uploaded in the media library, into a post, and then you set a password for that post. Now, the WordPress core, it allows you to set a single password for a post, protecting the content. And when you edit the post, you go up to the right-hand side and you click on the visibility link in the post properties box. And you can set the post visibility to public, which is the default setting, private, which only you and other administrators can see. And the one that we're looking at today is the password protected. So that's the image on the left-hand side of the screen just now. So enter the password in plain text that you want to use to and then update the post. And it's a simple solution that will suit non-technical audience base. And you can see when you click on or when you try to access the post, you get this little embedded box that says protected. So this is the demo for that one there. It just had a demo WordPress website, and that's the default post, which is hello world. So I password protected that and refreshed the front, and we can see that a password and an enter box comes up. And that's how you'd protect that particular post. Now, again, this is a simple solution, and it's very suitable for a non-technical audience base. However, if somebody shares that password, that single password, then everyone's going to get access to that content inside, exposing your PDF to the masses. As well, the PDF link that's inside, somebody, once they've got into that post, could copy that URL and then share it externally as well. And the same situation arises regardless of using the password protecting post or memberships as well. So if you've got a membership plugin, the PDF URLs themselves are not protected, and anyone could share them externally outside your WordPress site. But, you know, it's the first simple solution for this, and we'll look at some more complex ones later on. Okay, so here's tip number two. Tip number two is using a plugin, and this plugin is called Password Protect WordPress Plugin, or PPWP, and you can find it in the WordPress repository. This plugin allows you to enter multiple passwords for a single post, so that could help you get past that, you know, single password that's being shared. So you can set up multiple passwords depending on user level or user roles or username as well. Now you can also protect WordPress categories, WooCommerce products, a few posts, partial post content, or your entire website. So the password plugin here extends to a lot more than just protecting your password, your posts. It also works with Elementor and Beaver Builder page builders, which is good. But regardless of how many passwords you use to protect your post, the PDF file URL is still exposed within that post. So regardless of whether you upload it to the media library or you're using a cloud storage solution, that URL could still be shared to anyone unprotected if they've got that tech savvy of being able to find links embedded in your post. But, you know, it's a good starter for 10. So certainly tip number two is to use this Password Protect WordPress plugin. It's a bit of a tongue twister, that one. Joey J came in a bit late. Joey, this one's for you. This is your PDF protection one, so you can watch this from the beginning later on. Tip number three. So this one's getting a little bit more complex, a little bit more towards our end goal of not exposing your PDF files. So this particular plugin is called Prevent Direct Access, or PDA plugin, and it is a paid plugin. So the last one was free and it had a paid add-on extras. This one is a premium plugin, and it actually has premium add-ons or extensions as well. So this plugin, it has varying pricing points. The first one for a single site license at the moment starts at $14.90 US dollars per site per month, and that is billed annually. But they also have a lifetime deal. So if this is something that you're going to set up for your business, if you're going to be using PDF and private assets that you don't want people to access, then maybe for a long-term solution, you could look at buying a lifetime deal price for this particular plugin. And, you know, it does sound a bit hefty. They come in around about $600 US dollars. But then, you know, if you're going to be using this for maybe 2 or 3 years, you know, if you're going to be paying something around the lines of I know $200 a year for this, you know, then after 4 years, then you're going to break even. So if it's a long-term investment, then lifetime deals are usually really, really good. But this plugin, it's probably one of the best all-rounder password protection plugins for WordPress file assets. And it's got lots of features, but for me and for this topic, the three standout features were, one, it protects the media upload URL. So they cannot be accessed directly as downloads. So if you're loading a PDF file, if you're dropping it into the upload in the media library in WordPress, if you edit it, you can see the URL of it. If somebody tries to link that URL and download that PDF, this plugin will stop them from doing that. One of the other great things about this plugin, key features, is it hides the media upload URL from the search engines. Now, obviously, you want search engines to index your website to get really good SEO. But if you're selling these assets, these PDF files, or if you want to make them private, you certainly don't want Google to be indexing those PDF files. So this plugin will prevent those links from being found by Google. And lastly, there's an extension. It is a paid extension, so it's an extra money added on to this already paid premium plugin. But there is a private magic links add-on, and it automatically changes links for your uploads. Now, it's really, really good for this one. You can embed, allows you to embed and dynamically update any private download links for your files. So some of the add-on features includes setting a default private download link for every protected file. So this is obfuscating or hiding the actual URL of the product, the PDF, when it's replacing it with a dynamic link. And this dynamic link can change over time. It can expire as well. So that means that if someone does try and copy the URL and they paste it onto a forum board or something, then worst case scenario, if it expires after 10 hours, then that link will no longer work and people get a 404 error. So it can have a private download link for every single PDF file. You can set an expiry time for all these what they call magic links. You can auto-replace existing unprotected URLs. So if you've already loaded up lots of URLs with PDF files, URLs into your content, this plugin will search them out and it will replace them with those magic or dynamic links as well. So you don't have to worry about going back in through your content and replacing all these. This plugin will do that for you. And as well, it also displays your private files, such as PDFs, on your website as normal. So you can actually display them, no problem. So you can show a preview, but it blocks the download, the direct access to download the URL. So really good all-around security for protecting your file assets, your PDFs, the URLs. It protects them from Google, from being searched, and it also protects direct downloads. And you can add this kind of expiry link, this expiry time in for the links, which means that people are sharing them externally, if they're being very, very naughty, then at the very least it's going to expire. And when people come back the next day and try and download those PDF files, and that link will no longer work. So unauthorized users, they're just going to get a 404 page when they try and access those expired links. So this is a really, really good solution. And I think this is probably the best solution for this particular topic, so preventing people being able to access those PDF files. So this one here, along with that private magic links add-on. Okay, now there's another tip as well. So tip number 4 is to just password protect the PDF files. So this plugin is called Simple Download Monitor, and it's free plugin. So this might appeal to those who don't want to shell out, $600 for a lifetime deal, or $200 a year per site. So again, I'll put all these links in the comments later on. But this allows you to password protect your downloadable files. And so visitors are going to need a password to download any files that you link in with your content. Now, the plugin is really easy to use, and it uses shortcodes to protect your PDF files. Now, you can see an example of the shortcode at the bottom here. And the ID part is the post ID of the file that you're uploading to the media library. And you can get that when you upload it to media library and click on the asset. It'll tell you the post ID within the box at the top of the URL as well. And it's got several other options. So fancy is just the type of layout, and you can have like color blue for the blue links as well. So you can stylize the download link, the download button for those. And when people click on that link, then this little pop-up comes up and it says that your asset has been password protected and to enter the password. And you can manage all the passwords in the back ends of the plugin as well from the settings. So this is a really, really neat little plugin. If you don't want to go down the full, completely blocking everything with lots of money premium, you can at the very least, protect that PDF file link by kind of putting it behind this password protection box. So tip number 5, and it's kind of a little bit skewed, but it still works. So rather than let users download your PDF files, you can embed them directly into the post using this particular plugin, and this plugin is called PDF Embedder. Now, this plugin is quite unique method of embedding PDF files. It uses its own JavaScript library and not iframes. So the problem with other embedders, and certainly with, not problem, but the way that other embedders and certainly the WordPress core embedding system works is it creates an iframe. And an iframe is basically just an embedded website. So you can go directly into the source code and you can find the link to that embedded iframe and therefore the link to the PDF file. But this plugin here, it uses its own JavaScript library to render the PDF onto your page. So there's no iframes and it doesn't expose the URL link of the PDF itself, which is really, really good. So the source URL of your PDF is protected. Now, in the free plugin, there's no button for users to download this PDF. It's just a simple embed. But downloads are available in the paid and the premium plugin as well. So there's an upgrade to Go Pro, and that allows you to have a download button. So if you're wanting to allow people to download that PDF and not just view it on your WordPress website, then you could upgrade to the Pro. And another thing with the free version is it doesn't allow click-through links from within the PDF file. So if you've got a PDF file that's got some links, like resource links inside the PDF, using this free version doesn't allow you to click through. You can see the links and you can copy and paste them into your browser, but you can't click through from the links themselves. So you'd have to upgrade to the Pro version for that. But I quite like this this system. It's it's a halfway house between the two. It protects your PDF files, still allow people to view the content of your PDF. And the free version works really, really, really well. I've tried it on a few PDFs and it works great. And it does protect the source URL for those. So those are my 5 tips. Let's just run through them again. So tip number 1 is using the password protecting posts. So that's built into the WordPress core. And then tip number 2 is using the PPWP protection. So that adds an extra layer of additional passwords and other features for protecting your content within WordPress. And then we have probably the best one here, which is the Prevent Direct Access or PDA plugin. And that not only protects your URLs, but allows you to create dynamic links and expire those links as well for your PDF files. But more importantly, it hides them from Google search indexing as well, along with this Private Magic Links add-on. Tip number 4 was to protect the PDF files with the Simple Download Monitor plugin, and it allows you to put a little shortcode and it allows people to download the file but ask for a password first, and it protects the URL. And then lastly, it's embedding those PDF files using this particular PDF embedder plugin, which has its own JavaScript library and it doesn't expose the URL of the PDF file, so that remains protected. So those are my 5 tips for protecting your PDF files from unauthorized access and distribution. If you've got any questions, you can drop them now in the comments and I'll answer them, and I'll keep an eye on the iPad and see if any are coming through. But in the meantime, I'm always looking for suggestions for more topics. So you can fill out a suggestions form, and I've got a Rebrandly link there. And I will actually just drop this one down in the comments just so you can fill out that one. Or you can scan the QR code on the screen just now with your mobile phone, your camera app, or if you've got a QR scanner, then you can do that. So I'm always looking for new topics, and I'm kind of running out of topics at the moment. I queued up a whole lot a couple of months ago, but they've week by week they've all been dropping down, getting past them, and so that's good. So definitely, if you got more suggestions, fill out that form. That'd be fantastic, and I'll queue some of those up and give you guys kudos for those who suggested. Now, I've been working on another little project, and I'm going to be launching like a new business that could be called Will Brown digital, and it's going to be more business focused. So a little bit away from WordPress and more kind of business. So it's focusing on solopreneurs and showing them how to grow and scale their business. And as part of that, I've created 3 little free courses. And it's kind of aiming at people at different levels of the sales funnel for my new project. So the first one is why choose WordPress. So this is for people who are don't really know. They want a website, but don't really know which platform they want to choose. So this one takes them through all the reasons why you should probably choose WordPress and not some of the other ones. And I can see some comments coming through. I'll jump into comments after these ones. So thanks, guys. The second course is a digital marketing for beginners. Now, if you do try out these courses, please leave some feedback. They're currently kind of beta mode. I've not really launched them out to the public yet. But this one here, digital marketing for beginners. So if you don't really know what digital marketing is, then this goes through all the spiel, all the 3-letter acronyms and all the different things you need to put in place to implement digital marketing in your business. And the last one is an introduction for SEO as well. So if you know you want to do SEO, you don't really know what it is or how to start, then these are really good kind of beginners courses as well. So I'm going to go back to questions because I can see a few coming through. Let's go. Joey J says, for tip 4, excuse me, if someone knows the direct path to the file, they can get the file without being prompted to enter the password. Yes, that's correct. So this is for tip number 4. So this one here, to protect PDF files. Yes, so if someone knows the link to the PDF, then yes, they'll be able to share that directly. What this does is it kind of it stops you from. I'll just give you your comment there, Joey, because it's covering the shortcode. So this shortcode here, it links to the ID of the PDF file. So essentially, you're not putting the URL of the PDF directly into your post content. You're basically hiding it with this plugin here. And the download link, it's a JavaScript link. And when they click on it, it puts up this password. And only after they submit the password, then it will get to the PDF URL. But yes, the PDF URL is still exposed at the very end of that process for tip number 4. So yeah, good catch, Joey. Alan asks, do any of the password protection plugins allow you to apply passwords in bulk? So he has 100 files and I will give access to all of them or none. No, I'm not too sure about bulk stuff for that. I would assume because this one here, this one, which is prevent direct access, it's very complicated. It's got lots of settings, lots of features. I really just highlighted a few of them in there. And so it's worthwhile going on to prevent direct access plugin. And again, I'll post the link. I'll post the link just now, but I'll put them all in the comments down below. So Alan, have a look at that one there, preventdirectaccess.com. There's a whole heap of features. There's tons and tons of features, and there's tons of extensions and add-ons as well. So it might have a bulk operator in there. So it's definitely worthwhile checking that one out. But that's a great question. Thank you for that. The Maze asks, let's see. Going down the membership path, do you have recommendations for how to protect pages or sub-collections using membership passwording or a complete membership system? Okay, so we're kind of getting a little bit off topic down into memberships, and I'm going to be queuing up some membership quickies later on in the series. But for memberships, basically I pretty much always use Restrict Content Pro. So Restrict Content Pro, it's from the same guys who brought you Easy Digital Downloads. So that's Pippin's plugins, although I think Restrict Content Pro has been bought over by another company this year. But anyway, yeah, I'd look into that. I'd look into Restrict Content Pro. And again, the core plugin for that allows you to do an awful lot of membership, well, the basic membership, so levels and access and groups and paid payment terms. But as well as just the core, it's got a whole heap of add-ons as well. So Restrict Content Pro is very, very flexible. It's got about 50, 60 official add-ons. And so I definitely have a look at that one. It's, you can protect content in a lot of ways through the membership. So you can protect it at a post level, or you can protect actual parts of content as well. And I've got Siri on the iPad just asking me about stuff. Go away, Siri. Yeah, so definitely have a look at Restrict Content Pro. I guess the fallback for that would be MemberPress. And then the fallback from that would be WooCommerce with the subscriptions and membership site as well. But that one gets a really bit complicated because you're kind of managing 3 different plugins. You've got the WooCommerce, you've got the subscriptions, and you've got the membership on that as well. So definitely Restrict Content Pro would be my top choice, and then MemberPress would be like the second, and then the WooCommerce one from that. Let's see. Joey J says, I think iThemes bought Restrict Content Pro. Yeah, I did see something flash across emails later on this year. So, hopefully they treat it well because it's a really, really good product. Pippin has done a great job there developing that. So it'd be good to see that grow and keep as professional as it is. Okay, guys, let's see, where was I? Done that one. Okay, just a few shout outs for WP Australia. So if you're looking for different meetups across Australia, go to wpaustralia.org, click on the button Find a Meetup, and there's also a button on how to join us on Slack, which are like our real-time collab, so you can come and meet some of the community, get to know people within the WordPress community, and ask questions, get advice, and you give advice as well if that's what you want to do. As well, if you're a web developer or designer who maintains client websites, then have a look at woz.com.au. It can help you with your recurring revenue. And lastly, I am doing Cloudflare and WordPress next week. So if you want to set up your WordPress website with Cloudflare, and that's the Content Delivery Network, CDN, and then I'll be going through some of the steps that you need to put in place with Cloudflare for normal websites and for e-commerce websites as well. So join me next week if that's something that's going to interest you. Otherwise, I'm happy to connect with you guys. On LinkedIn, I'm under Developer Will. On Instagram, WillBrown_AU, and on Twitter as Developer Will as well. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week talking about the Cloudflare and WordPress. See you guys later.